and today I am reviewing Playhouse on Park's production of The Prom with book and lyrics by Chad Beguelin, book by Bob Martin, music by Matthew Sklar, and directed and choreographed by Robert Mintz, running through August 18th at the Playhouse at 244 Park Road in West Hartford, Connecticut. Help this show dress its best by becoming a patron over on my Patreon page, where you can, for as little as $1 a month, support One Man's Opinion, as well as my classic cinema podcast, Yesterday's Matinee, which is available on Patreon and Spotify, where the latest episode, Places in the Heart, is currently available. Thank you to my current patrons, especially my Neo and Hamilton tier patrons, and welcome to the new ones. I'm not a huge fan of The Prom. I think it's fine. The music is enjoyable. And I find the main character, Emma Nolan, played by Lucy Daddario here, and her girlfriend, Alyssa Greene, played by Kendyl Grace Davis, deeply empathetic. But aside from their high school principal, Mr. Hawkins, played by Cole Campbell, I find the rest of the characters either one-dimensional or just unlikable. Still, regarding this production, Playhouse on Park does an exceptional job in making a show filled with mostly unlikable humans at least entertaining. Set in a small conservative town of Edgewater, Indiana, the musical revolves around Emma, a high schooler who wants to take her girlfriend Alyssa to the prom. The prom is canceled after the conservative backlash led by Alyssa's mother, played by Leeanna Rubin, prohibits any kind of dance that allows homosexuals from participating. Emma and Alyssa, along with Mr. Hawkins, end up stuck in the middle of a culture war when three Broadway actors, Dee Dee Allen, played by Susan Haefner, Barry Glickman, played by Benjamin Howes, and Trent Oliver, played by Zachary Kropp, descend upon the unsuspecting little town to stir up positive publicity for themselves after horrible reviews and articles about their elitist behavior have come out. They figure if they find a cause they like and advocate for it, they'll be able to resurrect their careers. This is where my general dislike of The Prom comes in. Aside from Emma, Alyssa, and Mr. Hawkins, I don't like anyone. Mrs. Greene and the rest of the Edgewater residents are cookie-cutter, one-dimensional, unholy bigots. They're horribly cliched and boring. When I reviewed The Prom when it was on Broadway, I felt, as I do now, that the biggest crime of the show is that Mrs. Greene doesn't get her own song to give her any depth and reason as to where her bigotry stems from. And maybe the creators of the show don't know how to write conservatives beyond base stereotypes. I don't know why it's done that way, but this is what we have. Meanwhile, we get plenty of numbers for the trio of Broadway characters who are all insipid narcissists. It's like the show intends to force us to like them because they support a cause that the audience will most likely already advocate, even though they are using and manipulating everyone to serve their own purposes. And what's worse is that no one really finds out about their manipulation while it really matters, except for Mr. Hawkins, which feels like a narrative cheat. It would carry far more weight if Emma found out about what their intentions were far earlier in the show. It's all stereotypes and not in a good way. It's like bad young adult lit. And yes, there are changes in the characters as the show moves along in the second act, but the changes feel like they're happening because they have to, not because of any profound character development has actually happened. Still, credit should be given to Benjamin Howes, who does make Barry a bit more likable here at Playhouse on Park than what I saw on Broadway, softening up the character a bit and giving him a bit more of a journey, which I like. But that's credit to the actor, who took more from the character than what is on the page. I do actually like Sklar's songs, and the two girls at the center of the story, Emma and Alyssa, are great characters. I love them dearly, and Daddario and Grace Evans are adorable together. Their conflict as Alyssa struggles to come out to her mother and the actors embodying them make the musical worth seeing. Their duet of Dance With You is fantastic, and Grace Davis's song, Alyssa Greene, along with Daddario's Unruly Heart, are amazing show-stopping performances. As much as I dislike every other character in the show, except for maybe Mr. Hawkins, Emma and Alyssa and Daddario and Grace Davis's performances of those two characters warms my heart because of how great those two characters are written and performed. There's some excellent design work, particularly in the lighting by Erin Hochheiser, who creates some excellent light and shadow work, especially with the aforementioned Alyssa Greene song. Mintz's choreography is also exuberant and lively. Lisa Steier has designed some great costumes, especially the casual and formal wear for Emma and Alyssa. I'm just not much of a fan of the prom, but it's okay if you are. I get why people enjoy it. It's uplifting and life-affirming in its message, and also thumbs its nose at bigotry, which are all great. Playhouse on Park does a great job with its production. But outside of Emma and Alyssa and the miracle work that Howes brings to Barry, I find the characters cliched tropes with little dimension. So if you're a fan of the prom, I encourage you to see Playhouse on Park's production. You're going to love it. But if you're like me, weigh what I've said here with a certain degree to see if you want to go see it. But I am only one man's opinion, so leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see the prom, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be a link to my Patreon page, so visit that if you'd like to support the channel. You can also support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Summer Theatre of New Canaan's production of Mary Poppins. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.